pleaded guilty to a motor vehicle violation resulting in death, which is a civil infraction. He will lose his license for 4 years and perform 180 hours of community service. He also cannot ever again operate a motor vehicle that requires a commercial driver's license. The prosecutor in the case told the court that Braden Callahan's parents supported the agreement.
For the record, he's saying that the family of Braden Callahan is in agreement with this result?
They are, Your Honor, and they are aware that they did have an opportunity to appear here today or submit written statements, and they chose not to do that, but they were in support of this, Your Honor.
The family of Callahan has filed a $10 million lawsuit against Colburn and the RSU 13 school district. The family recently spoke out through their attorney and asked for privacy as they continue to mourn Braden's loss. A man is facing charges after he allegedly assaulted an emergency medical services worker. Bangor Police Department spokesperson Katie England says Bangor Police and Rescue were called to Davenport Park for a reported incident a little before 5 p.m. Monday. While transporting 36-year-old Perry Newell, he allegedly kicked one of the EMS crew members in the head, causing an injury. England says Newell was taken to an area hospital where he was treated and released. According to England, Newell has 17 sets of bail conditions. Police were able to find him yesterday and arrest him. Newell is being charged with an assault on an emergency medical service person and violation of conditions of release. The cyclospora outbreak that causes severe GI upset has been in the news a lot in recent weeks as it continued to spread, and now it is in Maine. It's tied to the Taylor Farms lettuce recall that's sickened over 6,000 people across the country. The affected iceberg lettuce was grown in Mexico and sold by Taylor Farms to retailers, including Walmart and Taco Bell. As of August 7th, the Maine CDC was reporting an estimated 10 people who were affected by cyclospora due to the recall. As for signs and symptoms, folks should watch out for. The most common symptom is diarrhea. According to the CDC, other gastrointestinal symptoms are common, along with fever, fatigue, and more. Bangor Public Health has also released information on what people can do to reduce their risks. That includes keeping your hands clean around food, washing your produce, and cooking fresh vegetables before consuming them. The CDC is advising anyone who thinks they may have it to reach out to their healthcare provider. Despite President Donald Trump's recent executive order on childhood vaccinations, the Maine CDC says they will continue to follow the guidance of the American Academy of Pediatrics and the current schedule. The Maine CDC quoted the Academy, which says pediatricians recommend children receive certain vaccines at specific ages based on when children's immune systems will best respond and when they are the most vulnerable to certain diseases. The Maine CDC stressed that the vaccines are the most effective disease defense against the vaccine-preventable illnesses and are available at no cost to eligible children through the Maine CDC's immunization program. They said Maine's school and child care immunization requirements remain unchanged by federal actions to date. The USDA's Wildlife Services will be distributing oral rabies vaccine baits for wildlife this week. They will spread nearly 599,000 in northern Maine from August 12th through August 24th. The baits are used to reduce the cases of vaccine rabies and will help limit the potential for human and domestic animal exposure to the rabies virus through contact with infected wild animals. Crews will spread the baits by air in more rural areas and by vehicle in more populated ones. Officials say each bait is a fish meal coated cube or sachet about 1 to 2 inches in size. Although humans and pets can't get rabies from contact with the baits, they should not touch them. Officials also say if a dog eats them, they could get an upset stomach. You can get more information by calling 1-800-821-5821. Crews have been working to clean up a train derailment in Orono that happened over the weekend. It happened Saturday on the railroad track between the Penobscot Valley Golf Course and the river. According to the Orono Fire Department, the train included 32 cars, 13 of them derailed. GSX, which owns the train, says all of the cars were put back on the track around 11:30 Monday night. They say they completed final maintenance work Tuesday, and they should be reopening the track for service last night. With communities across the state working to find unique ways to address the state's housing crisis, Fairfield town leaders are backing a project that aims to convert a vacant school into affordable housing for seniors. Our Grace Blanchard has the details.
This abandoned school could soon be the key to addressing affordable housing needs in Fairfield.
It's going to include historic preservation, renovating the building itself, keeping the facade looking very similar.
The Kennebec Valley Community Action Program aims to transform the former Fairfield Primary School into 30 units of senior housing.
Reusing an old building like this is actually very useful for the town. It's very useful for a housing project.
The town council recently approved a tax increment financing agreement with the organization to help support the over $10 million project.
The tax incremental financing means we pay the full tax bill to the town. They return some of it to help us with the operations of the building over the next 30 years.
Officials say the tax deal benefits the town because the property was off the tax rolls. They also hope the project boosts the local economy.
Well, it'll bring in more people to our town. It brings in some much needed housing especially for senior residents, and they'll shop and do all their activities right in our hometown.
Pending the approval of state funding, Pelton said the organization aims to have people moved in 2028.
We've done it before. We know we can do it. And we expect to be successful here too.
In Fairfield, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Coming up on ABC 7 News at noon, we'll take a look at the economy and how it will impact your budget. We'll be right back.
In the ICU, I've seen patients being bankrupted by the cost of care, and they're having to travel 3 and 4 hours to receive that care. This didn't just happen. Susan Collins voted to support Donald Trump on the largest Medicaid cut in history. Healthcare is getting even more expensive. People are losing coverage. Labor and delivery centers are closing. Hospitals are closing. We need to tell Susan Collins to stop siding with Donald Trump. We can't afford it.
We've got a 100-year-old company here, and it's because of the service, the quality, and the experience. It gets done right.
I think we've been doing it for so long. The only thing that we do, that when we walk into a room, we automatically know how to treat that window. We can take any product that the customer's looking for and make it work in just about any situation that they present us with. So
There's no reason to be overwhelmed. We can help you through it.
We're not going anywhere. We've been around for 100 years.
Looking for the perfect gift? Come explore the Purple Baboon. Sweatshirts, t-shirts, jewelry, inspiring local books, one-of-a-kind treasures and souvenirs, they have something for everyone. The Purple Baboon, the best selection at great prices. 31 Front Street, Belfast.
Taylor Events and Equipment Rental in Bangor for all your wedding and events, tents, tables, chairs, and more. Also see us for your home project equipment rentals. Taylor Events and Equipment Rental, 1179 Hammond Street in Bangor.
Still getting glitched by cable internet? Enough already. Fidium is 100% fiber internet. Ultra reliable, lightning fast. So everything you do online works exactly like it should.
Zach, go to bed.
Fiber up to Fidium. Get plans starting at only $30 a month at fidiumfiber.com.
I'm a fifth-generation logger and the son of a public school teacher. A dad who worked 16-hour days, and that still wasn't enough. So when they tried to replace us with foreign labor, I led a blockade of the border. Susan Collins didn't help us then, and she's certainly not helping us now. We're all getting crushed out here. Healthcare, housing, heat. We've got to fight back. We're all hungry for it. Maine is ready for a change. I'm Troy Jackson. I'm running for Senate, and I approve this message.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
If you feel like you're paying more at the grocery store or those plane tickets you bought were more expensive, you're right. Prices on many goods are rising, up 3.4% from a year ago, despite inflation slightly cooling in July. That's according to new data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. ABC's Olivia Rubin has all the details.
At the grocery store, the gas station, and at home, prices are rising for Americans. Today, new data on the economy showing inflation eased slightly in July from 3.5% to 3.4%. But that's well above the Federal Reserve's target rate of 2%.
It's a good thing that we don't see that number going up, that inflation isn't accelerating, but it is still above where the Federal Reserve and overall households want inflation to be.
It's costing you more money. The Bureau of Labor Statistics showing prices for fruit and vegetables up 5.1%. Cereal and bakery products up 2.7%, electricity up 4%, and apparel up 3.9%. And gasoline up a whopping 24.6%, surging from the war in Iran. The average price above $4 a gallon, according to Gas Buddy. The cost of some items falling, too. The data showing used cars and truck prices are down nearly 2%. Lettuce down more than 16% amid the deadly cyclosporiasis outbreak. And critically, amid these rising prices, the data showing wages aren't keeping up. Earnings actually decreased 0.2% in July. The Trump administration previously defending its economic record, saying this on CNN.
The bottom line is that if you look at the overall economy, then things are really, really booming.
And recent polls show that Americans are feeling the heat when it comes to the economy. A Reuters Ipsos poll from just 2 weeks ago found that 59% of adults said they view the economy as weak. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, Washington.
President Trump says the U.S. controls the Strait of Hormuz. The map tells a different story, and Iran says it might soon resume attacks against American assets in the Middle East. Correspondent Trey Yanks has the latest developments from Tel Aviv.
We have total control over the Hormuz Strait right now.
Earlier this week, President Trump pivoted from military to economic pressure on Iran, hoping to get the Strait of Hormuz open again. On Tuesday night, the president repeated his claim that the U.S. has complete control over the vital waterway, despite few ships actually getting through, as negotiations with Tehran continue.
They don't have control. We have total control. We own it. And at some point, maybe they'll do something and then they get blown away. But right now, we're in a very good position.
But of course, the Iranians say that's not true. They're vowing to keep the strait closed until the U.S. accepts Iran's conditions for ending the conflict. And now the Revolutionary Guard is indicating it's moving toward a more offensive posture, meaning new attacks against American bases and allies could be coming.
Whenever the order is issued, we must be capable of extending operations into enemy territory and conducting missions far from our own land.
President Trump says cutting off Iran's oil revenue and enforcing new sanctions will eventually bring Tehran back to the bargaining table. But some experts say that won't be easy because the Iranians are willing to wait.
Iran has an incredibly high threshold for the pain that they're willing to inflict on their own population. So frankly, they don't care that their economy is in free fall. They see an opportunity.
Pakistan, a key mediator, says the U.S. and Iran are close to a deal, and Pakistan's interior minister is currently in Tehran for talks. In Tel Aviv, Trey Yanks, Fox News.
Rescue teams continue to dig through the debris from a 7.5 magnitude earthquake that struck Colombia Monday. Rescuers are searching for survivors as the critical rescue period starts to close. ABC's Faith Abube has the latest.
And that critical window of opportunity, a window where these rescue volunteers, these volunteer rescuers will be able to save people, that critical window is starting to close, but they're not giving up hope. What you're seeing behind me used to be a 5-story building. I was told that a lot of it was apartments here. So as you can see, it's been collapsed. And so these rescuers believe there are people who are still trapped in there, which is why they've been working nonstop trying to get to these survivors. Every few minutes, these rescuers ask for everyone around here to just be quiet so they can see if they can hear anyone beneath the rubble. The obstacle they're having to deal with is a lot. Obviously, you see the building has collapsed. They're dealing with the heavy concrete and steel, and all they have are pickaxes, their shovels, and a lot of them are having to dig through a lot of this debris by hand. But they know what the goal is to try to find as many people who may still be trapped as possible. The good news, according to officials here, is that more than 80 people so far have been rescued here in this town alone, and they're hoping that they continue to see some of that good news over the next few days. Back to you.
After the break, you might want to spend some time looking at the sky for the next few weeks. We'll tell you why when we return.
They've got the sharpest pencil in town. Have they just sit around that showroom figuring deals and whittling that old pencil down? They know that if you buy once, you're gonna be back. So instead of buying one, you're buying two, and that's a fact. They've got the sharpest.
So come on down, neighbor. The coffee pot's on and the pencil is sharp.
He put his life on the line for his country. Senator Susan Collins isn't forgetting him or any of our veterans. She's delivered millions in federal funding to improve housing for veterans across Maine and provide housing vouchers to make sure Maine veterans have a place to call home. She's also worked tirelessly to provide the quality mental health care our veterans deserve. Call and tell Senator Collins to keep fighting for our veterans.
Ready to create your backyard oasis? Alexander's Professional Landscaping will work with you to create your perfect outdoor space. Work one-on-one with our landscape designer to create a unique garden to fit your family's personal aesthetics and lifestyle. Have our pros install your new lawn, garden, or patio. Schedule a consultation today by calling 573-4497. Alexander's Professional Landscaping, the way landscaping should be.
A homeowner asks, my basement only leaks every few years. Do I need to fix it? Yes. Basements are dry most of the time, but to use the basement, you need it dry all the time, even during storms. Moisture could weaken your foundation, ruin belongings, and create an environment where mold thrives. But our system can keep your basement dry all the time. Call us today for all things basementy.
You don't get to buy the government that you want.
But let's look at what Troy Jackson did, because Troy Jackson likes to keep it in the family. When Jackson was state Senate president, his son was one of the highest paid lobbyists in town. Special interests paid his son, and Jackson changed his positions. Was it a coincidence, or was something corrupt? Troy Jackson is just another dirty politician. SLF PAC is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
Every summer, we get all sorts of questions from you asking if we can explain the difference between all the different types of pork ribs that we see in the market. So to help clarify this, let me show you some of the most popular ones. These are baby back ribs. They're called baby back not because they come from baby pigs, but because they're the shortest of all ribs. They're also easy to recognize by their curved bones. They're the sweetest and the most tender and leanest of all ribs. Over here are spare ribs. As you can see, they're larger and the bone is much straighter and flatter. They have a higher bone to meat ratio and the meat is much more marbled, which gives them lots of flavor. Next is what is known as St. Louis or Kansas City ribs. They're simply spare ribs where what is called the flap and the tip are removed, making the slab rectangular. And to get us started, we have a recipe that I know you'll love. They're simply baby back ribs that are slow roasted with a Texas-style rub. And when they're fork tender, you slather them with barbecue sauce. So if you like ribs that are so tender, they practically fall off the bone, you're going to want to go online and get the recipe for our Texas two-step ribs. And while you're there, make sure you check out our entire collection of rib recipes. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a super tender way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Over the next 3 weeks, the sky will be particularly active, from a partial solar eclipse to one of the year's best meteor showers. Our Alex Schley tells us why astronomers say there will be plenty of reasons to look up.
You do not hear about so many events happening in a single month.
Wednesday kicks off what astronomers say will be a particularly busy time of celestial activity. Starting Wednesday afternoon, Maine will see a partial solar eclipse.
We're only getting about a quarter obscurity, so it's 23.6% to be exact, and that's going to be at 1:53 p.m. Around that time, that's the maximum partiality we're going to get here.
The eclipse will be much more pronounced in other parts of the world, crossing parts of the Arctic, Greenland, Iceland, Spain, and Portugal.
They do not happen that often. They're very rare occurrences. Even though partial eclipses happen more often than total, for us in Maine, we're not even going to get a partial solar eclipse until 2045. And the next total solar eclipse in Maine is going to be 2079.
And as the moon cycle continues, it will set the stage for another celestial show. The new moon will keep the skies dark, creating ideal conditions for the peak of the Perseids meteor shower.
Tomorrow is the best time this month for night sky viewing, but then just gets better because tomorrow is also the peak for the Perseids meteor shower.
In August, we'll close out with one more celestial event. 5 of our 7 neighboring planets will be visible in the night sky.
So we kind of have like a planetary alignment, but not quite because it's not all the planets in there.
For astronomers, it's a remarkable stretch of activity. And for the rest of us, a reminder that some of the best shows of the summer don't require a ticket. In Bangor, Alex Lai for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
When we return, Chase Ropanak has your 5-day forecast.
I went to work in the woods after high school. The harder we worked, the more that the companies took from us. That's why we organized. We made them listen. People are doing everything they can right and still cannot get ahead. Susan Collins keeps telling us everything is just fine. Who has she served? She has served Donald Trump. She has served the billionaires. She has served herself. We are getting screwed, and I'm running to change that.
Government that Works PAC's responsible for the content of this ad.
ABC 7, Fox 22. The place we call home, telling Maine stories wherever you roam. From sunrise shores to forests of pine, hard work, strong hearts, values that shine. From old towns to harbors, back roads to ocean blue. Neighbors helping neighbors in all that we do. Through storms and clear skies, day after day, we're here with the stories that matter in Maine. From mountains to sea, standing strong and true. This is Maine, this is home on ABC 7, Fox 22.
Let's check your full forecast with Chase Ropanak. Chase?
Thank you very much. Your afternoon weather is brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. All right, as you see for those lows this morning, we started off in the mid-50s here in Bangor, low 60s in Millinocket, but check this out. Just north of town, about a 10-degree difference in Holton, Prescott, and Clayton Lake in the low 50s for today, while the rest of us in the mid-upper 50s further down to the southwestern portion of the state. The average high this time of year right around 80 degrees, a little bit above that for today, of course, but we're going to be much closer to average tomorrow, Friday, into your weekend, and even going into the beginning of the work week as well. We'll see a little bit of a dip Monday, mid-70s then, excuse me, but for your weekend, we're looking nice, right near average, but we do got a little bit of rain on the way as well, mainly going into tomorrow evening, but a breeze out there for today is going to continue into the afternoon and evening hours. It will lighten up tonight, so that's when we'll get some calm conditions back in place. Here we are for tomorrow. Now, I was saying the conditions look to be light and variable, but we do have some storms on the way, especially going into the evening hours. Here's 7 p.m. This is where we can get some gusty winds out there. Of course, underneath those thunderstorms, if you are not underneath those storms, your conditions are going to stay pretty light and variable throughout the day. So here's how this looks out there going into this evening. Pretty clear, right? Maybe a few showers up into the northern tier of the state, but we will have more chances for showers here in Bangor overnight. But then here we are in the early morning hours. Things look to clear out. A lot of cloud cover working its way in, and here we are 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Those stronger storms pass, and they can linger into the overnight hours as well for Thursday night into your Friday. So here we are for today. We got pretty good conditions. Low to mid 80s out there, partly cloudy skies, a little bit of breeze out there from the northwest, but otherwise tonight we will see that wind lighten up. We're going to have lows back right near 60 degrees. A few of us could be a bit below it, a few of us could be a bit above, but there is a chance for a few showers out there, otherwise staying pretty dry. Now for tomorrow, we'll have a better chance of getting some rainfall here with a chance for storms as well. Highs in the mid to upper 70s due to the cloud cover moving in, but there will be a southwest wind near 5 to 15 miles per hour. Otherwise, light and variable conditions out there for tomorrow. So here's a look at your extended forecast. Dry today, of course, into tonight with a few showers on the way, and then thunderstorms are possible for your Thursday, Friday, and Saturday into Sunday look to be much more dry. We'll be right back near average Saturday afternoon, plenty of sunshine, and the good weather continues into your Sunday with highs in the upper 70s.
Thank you, Chase. The city of Bangor has a new fire chief. The city council voted unanimously to promote Deputy Chief Eric Pelletier to the position. Pelletier joined the department in 2005. He thanked those who held the position before him and spoke about the future.
As the city continues to grow and evolve, so will our department. Safety for the public and our personnel will always be a top priority. We will work to build stronger relationships with our residents, community stakeholders, and local organizations to enhance fire prevention, education, and emergency preparedness.
Pelletier replaces former Chief Jeffrey Lowe, who resigned in June. A polar bear cub captures a lot of attention for the love of traffic cones. The 8-month-old cub named Momodo is having a field day at an aquarium in Japan as he plays around with a bright orange cone. Momodo is seen poking his mother as they enter a section of the enclosure, but she appears to send him back out. Then he managed to get his head through the bottom of the cone and wore it looking like a wizard. The cone eventually broke up, and Momodo took a dip with part of his newfound toy. That's all for ABC 7 News at noon. Thanks for watching. I'm Susan Farley. We'll see you this evening on ABC 7 News at 6. Have a great afternoon.